Everybody, this is Dead. Welcome back to What If Deku was Hatty part fucking whatever part this is, and we're gonna get into it. It's probably part 8. Anyway, you know, fucking they had this argument going back and forth about fucking he's like he doesn't want to go with them at all. He doesn't want to be with this group of liars. Well, he thinks are liars, and he does notice that the fucking buildings look strange, but he just thinks that's just Japan. Japan had this shit. Like he didn't hear that many stories of Japan from his mother. So he reluctantly agreed to go with them. you know they get to UA. Everyone goes to their dorms, and Aizawa's like, you should follow me. Aizawa and Vlad King are like, you should follow me. You should follow me. And Aizawa's like, Vlad King, you go help the kids get their shit. And then I'm gonna go with this guy, and I'm gonna go take him to Nezu. As Vlad King's like, yeah, Vlad King's like, sure, fuck it, and they go. He follows Izawa, and he would follow Izawa, and they get to Nezu's office. They'd come in, and Izuki would just see this fucking rat, and he was like, what the? He would see this overgrown rat, and he's like, what the fuck? He's like thinking, what in the world is that? What in the world is that thing? He doesn't say it out loud, but he's thinking this. Aizawa comes in, he's like, sir, hello, Nezu. Oh, yeah, hello, Aizawa. Who's the guest? Well, this is Izuku Haddington. As Nezu would be like, well, hello there, Mr. Haddington. As you would say, Izuku would be looking at him, and he'd be like, you could see, like, in his face, like, this fucking rat's talking. He's like, this thing's talking to me. And Nezu could see this, and he feels a bit offended by this. He's like, why? As Nezu would ask, why is that Arisawa? Why does he look like he's looking at me like? Why does it look like he's looking at me like he doesn't know why I'm talking or anything like that? Well, it's because he believes it's right now the 1800s, and he's like, like, as I would feel like this fucking aura, he would like slowly turn around, and it's just fucking Izuku, and he's fucking pissed off. He's like, because it fucking is. He's like, because it fucking is. As Nezu's like, yikes. He's like, yikes. Well, he's like, well, I'm gonna try to make this as formidable as possible as I could possibly can. But I'm sorry, Mr. Haddington, but it is not the 1800s. We're not in the 1800s or whatever year you think it is. 1820, 1828. Yeah, it's not that. It's actually 2228. And what makes you think I would believe that? Well, Look around. Doesn't this stuff look completely different than what you've known? I mean, like, if you had to be like, wouldn't you mostly know this place as more like wilderness or something like that? As he's like, no, I've never been to Japan before. I've lived my entire life in England. As he's like, what? Then why is your... Okay, hold up. I'm gonna try to make this as formal as possible. Sorry. But then why... Sorry for asking this, but then why is your name Zuku if you've lived your entire life in England? As you know, he's like, because my mother was from Japan, and she gave me the name Zuku. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense, kinda. We never had... What do you mean? What do you mean, kinda? Well, there was not many people from Japan just leaving Japan back then. Yes, I know. Back. You mean now? You mean now? You mean now? And also, and I yes, I know that. And yes, I know that. There was like There was like very little Japanese people even in Europe. There was like, I call it Europe. Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, Europe does work too, but like he's like 5% of Europe's population was not even 5%. That's like a lot still, like 0.5%, maybe even a bit bigger or a bit more smaller, were Japanese. He says, because I'm not gonna continue with the fucking voice when I'm trying to explain, like I'm trying to like narrow something down. Like how many people existed in the 1800s, and then like how much percent would 0.5 of that be, and then make that Japanese. As you know, he's like, okay. Yeah, they had this like back and forth argument about this, and Zuki's like, okay, if it really is this year, this 2228, then how am I still alive? That would make me 418 years old. As he's like, I don't, as he's like, I don't know. He's like, as he's like, I don't know I don't know. I don't know anything about your past. I don't know anything that happened between there for you. I'm like thinking, like right now I'm thinking, like, how am I gonna make him realize that it's this time? Because like now that I think about it, like, how am I? Because I don't want to get him into England. I wanted to take him to England, but then I realized, wait, then he's gonna have to fucking go back because to continue with the story, As 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 I was, and Nezu's like, I got it. How to you got to what? How to prove that it's this year? And he's like, what? Then then how do you prove it? as Nezu would ask, what year did you and your friends go to on that ship, on that because like he explained what happened back then, and he was like, what year was it? And he's like 18. Well, okay, it's been 3 years since then, so 1825. 1825. As you know, he would go to the 1825 and he would look up anything about missing like anything about like that was written down in some way as like a police report or something about like missing teenagers or anything like that, because he says he's 18. So, and then there was actually a thing that a large group of teenagers who set to sea went missing and never came back, because he fucking blew a hole through the boat, so they're all dead. They're all at the bottom of the ocean now. They're all dead, and a lot of them died anyway via just the first, just via from the storm. A lot of them were flew out of the into the ocean and probably froze to death or something like that. I don't know, man. I don't know what to tell you. That just like makes sense. As you know, it would show, and then he would show and he's like, "How do I know you're not just faking this thing?" As you know, he would show the police report to him, and it would have the names there. As you know, he would see like some of his good friends' names. Just I don't know. I'm not gonna make up fucking 1800s English names, but yeah, like he would see them, and like there's no way like anyone would know what these names were. He never said it to any of these guys. He would see his own name, Izuku Hatty Hattington. Izuku Hatty Hattington. As you know, it would have a kind of a bio for him, and like it would say that the first one to ever report anything about these missing teenagers was the mother of him, which would be Inko Haddington, because we're still going to make Inko his mom, or at least her name. Inko was her name. Inko does exist. Yeah, she exists. Inko Midoriya exists. Why? Because Izuku had a sister. Izuku had a sister who's now long dead. Same way with his mother and father. And her sister would take up the Midoriya's name instead, while Izuku would take up the Haddington name, because Izuku wanted to stay in England while his sister, which we'll just call Azumi, would want to go to Japan one day, so she would want to take over the Midoriya family name instead of the Haddington family name, which she did eventually happen. She was 5 years younger than Izuku, so she was 10 years old when he left. As you know, there was even like there was even like it showed like something about it talked about his sister too. It talked about his sister and father too. It talked about how his sister seemed to have like the whole on like reason why it started. It was like a mother and sister coming in fucking crying about this shit, like because all this, and fucking Izuku's just there fucking the tears that's like just the tears coming out normally. Like you now, like the tears are fucking just coming out of his eyes, as like he's fucking crying. Like he's like they're dead. Like there's no way. And I'm gonna end it there, guys, because I'm a douchebag. Anyway, goodbye, guys.